Hey folks, it's Carrie. Hopefully this is coming in. I got a little bit of new technology here. I got the new blue snowball mic, which I'm going to be using, and I've got a different high def 1080p webcam. So today, third week of the Full Tilt Friday, and topic of the day is going to be consistency. The reason it's going to be consistency is today I finished a very big and long project that I have been working on for the last 70 days, which is a personal project, one of these pandemic opportunities, and it is the Great Virtual Race Across Tennessee and back. Talked about this a little bit. Short version is it's a 635-mile virtual race where you log your own mileage, put on by Lazarus Lake, aka Gary Cantrell, the evil genius responsible for the Barkley marathons and Big's Backyard Ultra. So this guy put on this race thinking it would give some people motivation to get out the door, and thought that the period from the beginning of May till the end of August would be enough for people to crank out that 600-mile run. To his shock, I'm sure, 19,600, almost 20,000 people entered this race. And I entered it thinking that that'd be a 5 mile a day average. That would be fairly easy for me to hit. And I'd be more interested in doing across Tennessee and back, which would equate to a 1,270-mile run or a 2,040K run. If I was able to, over the course of those 4 months, average a little over 10 miles a day. So ultra athletes being who they are and me being who I am, the reason we're talking about consistency specifically today is the only way, in my view, to get this done is just to keep chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. And if there's a preference between getting a little more done or a little less done, I will almost always go to a little more. And I accomplished the all the way across Tennessee and back goal today, hitting 1,270 miles over the last 71 days, which means I've been averaging 18 miles a day for the last 2 months and change, which is more than I've ever trained really in my life in the past. And the only way I've been able to pull this off is consistency. It's gotten me to the point where I can now start on a third crossing. And even if I ratchet back my mileage to 12 and a half, 13 miles a day, I will get that third crossing. So my original goal was to complete the race across Tennessee. Done that. My secondary goal was what I was really shooting for, was across Tennessee and back. Check, got that done. And now I'm on to the way back. So I am doing a third crossing, which I hadn't even thought about, but now I think it's probably going to be there. By the way, on this, if it's good picture and good sound compared to normal, let me know. Add a comment. Give me a thumbs up down below, because I'm looking to make these as high quality as I can in my limited studio type space. So more about consistency and how it actually lends itself to achieving goals. Now, and I'll give you a couple examples. I'll talk a little bit about this race, which I've been doing. And the consistency also comes, it's not just doing the miles, it's finding the time to do it and fitting it in. A lot of times I have ended up doing some of my mileage late at night when my wife and daughter might be, in comfortably for the night, maybe watching a show or something like that. I will go out, I will grab my headphones, which are right here. I'll put these puppies on. I will listen to a book. I will listen to some music. I will get into a podcast, and I'll keep moving forward consistently almost every day. I've gotten bonus mileage by going out in the evening. So again, the only way to get through is to be relentless and consistent in how you make this work. And the consistency is also perhaps most important with that first step. A lot of us tend to resist something where there'll be some discomfort involved, like going out and running for 10 miles or 5 miles or going out around the block 6 times. There's some element of discomfort there, and getting out for the first step is often the hardest part. If you can get that first step done, you are halfway there. Yes, you'll go through some time and effort, and maybe your knees will hurt. Maybe it'll be raining. Maybe it'll be a little cold, but that first step is the critical step. So this is a personal goal, and it has put me into arguably better shape than I've been in a long time, with nothing to do with it right now because all the races are essentially canceled. So all the things that I would normally be training for and be in this kind of condition are out the window. So, for example, I'm in good enough shape that yesterday I was going out to run my miles. I figured, okay, I'll do somewhere around 14 miles and I'll get my chunk of mileage done. My wife accompanies me on an electric scooter, and I go around Stanley Park. She goes along with me. We have a chat as we go. But I was feeling good enough that 10.5 miles, I would add another loop on to go up to 14, 15. And I was feeling good enough while I was running. I thought, oh, might as well hit 20. That'll be good, because then for my final day, I could hit, I can do basically an ultra, 31-mile ultra. And then I'm running and I'm still feeling good. And I thought, it'd be kind of cool to just hit a marathon, just go out for a marathon. Hadn't planned it, didn't have any liquid, didn't have any calories, but was feeling good. Because of my eating schedule right now, I'm on sort of a ketogenic, fat-adapted diet. I generally only eat between 2 p.m. and somewhere between 8 and 10 in the evening, which gives me a small window of time to eat during the day. And the rest of the time, it's nothing, water or unsweetened tea, that sort of thing. And that puts me into a condition where if I'm doing that again, falling back on the theme of consistently, then I will reap the benefits of being fat adapted and be able to go out and run a marathon at a reasonable pace. Reasonable enough pace that my splits were all within 30 seconds of one another, where there's a little bit of climbing or a little bit of descent. And the last few miles were faster than the first few. And, by the end, it felt pretty good. So again, consistency. Now, had another big day today, walked a lot of it actually today, but 27 miles today. And I've got an early morning wake-up call tomorrow where I'm going out again. I'm going out into the mountains with a friend. He called. I'm like, of course, yep, I'll go. I'll be out there. So that's how you accomplish big goals. Relating it to professional side of things, I'll talk about the business that I've been involved with for the last decade plus. The only way, again, that you will likely create a business that maintains, is successful, is profitable, is by consistently performing, consistently operating at a really high level. So now my business is training, development, leadership, and team building, which means that I'm dealing with people all the time. And if you're dealing with people and your product is an experience, a training, a team bonding program where you get people together, people sniff out if you are getting a little bored of it, if you are not 100% there, if you are not operating from a place of enthusiasm and inspiration. So one of the things that in the business enabled us to achieve a result of like the last 100 events we've done on a score of 1 to 10, we're accomplishing something like 9.8 out of 10 of the last 100 events. And the only way that happens is if you are consistently fresh, meaning you come to it with new eyes. You're grateful to be there. You are, again, enthusiastic, because if you're enthusiastic, affect is infectious. Other people will also be. If you're inspired, you'll inspire other people. And that's how that type of consistency lends itself to a business which succeeds. So over the last 10 years, that's created for me a business opportunity where programs that I've delivered, developed, put together have gone out to somewhere in the order of 1,300 different companies. And we've done somewhere again on the order of $14 to $15 million worth of business. And some of this business is things that you would never imagine would pay off at that level. Things like, building a boat as a business project simulation made out of cardboard, putting people in that boat and having them perform at a high level and evaluating them like it's an actual business. There's Dacomax. We got a New Zealander, Kiwi in the house. This is from an old New Zealand trip, actually. So good to see you here. Wish I could at some point get to Australia, New Zealand, because of this fitness I was talking about earlier. There's one race I would consider doing, which is in Australia in October, the Irrational 200. Got a bunch of friends in it, put on by a friend of mine. I think it would be a fine opportunity to put into real life practice the fitness that I've got right now. But Australia's basically closed for business, although I think Australia and New Zealand are in a little bit of a bubble. So the other thing that consistency does is it will do what I call, it will breed trust. If you show up again and again and again, and you're able to achieve these kinds of results through a business where you're getting an average score of 9.7 out of 10 for the last 100 events, people begin to trust that, and it builds confidence. So people who are either selling or presenting your services, or me when I'm talking about some of these programs, whether it's me delivering it or one of my facilitators, we end up having this experience where people begin to believe it. They connect to it on an energetic level because, again, the consistency has developed trust. It's put trust out there, and it's also developed a confidence. And that confidence is key when you stand up in front of a bunch of people. Because people, I call people like myself included, smart rats. We look at things and we know, we understand, oh, this guy's full of it, or this guy's done it 100 times. That consistency where you have to be fresh, inspired, enthusiastic. If it's not there, people sniff it out. If you don't love doing what you're doing, people sniff it out, and they don't react well to that sort of thing. So coming to a bit of a wrap point here, I don't want to make any of these too long. I'm usually aiming for somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. Always looking for suggestions on future topics, and also thinking about doing one of these in the future with my daughter Indigo. Some of you might have seen in some of the videos. So looking for potential suggestions on, if I brought her into this picture and sat her right here, what would you like to hear us chat about? And consistency is also a thing that I can talk about because of this Full Tilt Friday concept that I've got going forward. I plan to do this for a while, and I'd like to commit to a year's worth. That's 52. And if we're still rolling strong at that point, great. We'll keep going. See how many more topics come up. Make sure that I can continue to deliver material that's relevant and of value. And last things I want to say, again, to reinforce consistency, is if you've watched it this far and you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe, hit the notification. It's appreciated. Give me the thumbs up down there so that more people will be exposed to this type of thing. Also, you can subscribe to my Instagram, which is @KerryWard, @KerrywArD. Description will be in, the link will be in the description. Or if you really want to do something special, the Patreon is the best way to offer direct support to a content creator like me. I've got more stuff coming. The next video that will come out will be a trip up Adam's Peak or Sripada in Sri Lanka, which was something we did last year. Very interesting video, beautiful place. Let's see what we got. Best training ever in lockdown period. Vero 7. Yeah, it is actually. And I've managed to be consistent and stay healthy, which is fantastic. I know you've done some big races in the past, but it seems you're really dialing things in now. Well, I am, but I don't really know what I'm going to be doing with it. And sometimes I'm feeling a little creaky, like today after running a marathon yesterday, having to do another one today. I wasn't running it fast today. So again, that consistency. Evan, I'm looking doing ultras, but still at 30 kilometers per week. How can I safely and consistently increase my mileage? 10% per week rule. Maybe I would encourage you to increase mileage, maybe even a little bit slower than that. Literally slower, meaning do some walking or some hiking uphill and then running downhill, and just see how your body responds to that. I've been able to ramp up my mileage as much as I have because I have been consistent with my running for years now. And I've elevated the base to that level. So I would listen to your body as best you can and back off on the intensity if you want to increase mileage. That's a good ultra rule. Eric the Red, it's my pleasure. I will sign off for you guys this week. Full Tilt Friday. Key concept today, consistency. Deploy it in your life and you will get some big things done. So appreciate everyone's time. Good night. We'll see you next week. Carrie out.